Buongiorno ragazzi! This video is in Italian, but I'm gonna start it with Italian. Anyway, today we'll be discussing how to race sim racing very cheap. Hella cheap. We'll be discussing that maybe keyboard and mouse is quite good. We'll be discussing if you have the money, wheel and base. We'll be discussing positioning, we'll be discussing games, and at the end we'll discuss how to get yourself into the system of at least the most basic websites for sim racing there are. If you want to see this video in Italian, I will have an Italian short posted probably as soon as this one, as this video, and an English short if you all have a zero, if you can't wait that long for me to explain everything. Thank you for tuning in. Let's dive deep into the fascinating world of cheap sim racing. Chapter 1: Why sim racing? Now, why sim racing is more affordable and more smarter to start even if you want to get into real racing. Real racing is a lot expensive. Unless you want to get into a dirt bike that also costs thousands. And or maybe like a crashed vehicle that you find on a site for like €100 and you want to race there, sure, go ahead, but it's a type of racing maybe most people don't look forward to. Kartings are expensive these day and age. I know people are trying to make them less expensive, more affordable, but still it's a far way ahead. So sim racing for now is your best option. Let's see. So sim racing, as normal racing, allows you to talk and drive to people and drivers. More in real world racing, you will learn more about people, not as much about racing. You'll learn about more the racing ideals, the company, the business behind racing. And in sim racing, it's the beginning. It's the hardware stuff. It's like your computer with your CPU. If the whole computer is the racing aspect, sim racing is the CPU. It's the main thing. It's the racing. It's the racing, because real world racing, even though you learn a lot, you might have a lot of sessions, it will never beat you jumping on your sim at 3 in the morning and racing until 5 p.m, eating and then racing again. You just can't do that. Most tracks aren't open at 3 a.m, as an example. So sim racing, if you're starting, definitely the better choice than normal world racing. Also, I would want to add that sim racing is about improving skills, and your goal as becoming a driver is very, very controlled by skill. You can't be a great racing driver by having only very funny. You also need to have skill and talent. Now, one thing about talent is not born with, it's earned. Just have that in mind. Chapter 2: Keyboard Racing. Now, for the people that cannot or do not have the funds to buy themselves a sim racing wheel, first of all, don't be scared. All you need is a sim racing wheel and pedals. That's it. Don't get attracted by these big setups with those big like simulator cockpits with like wires and stuff. You don't need that. What I am saying though is Formula racing and GT style racing, which most racing is, have different setups. Now, I do like my setup, but it's for a Formula setup. I wouldn't race GT2s on it because it will feel uncomfortable, because I'm in a laying down position on purpose. I didn't set it up with a cockpit, I set it up with a table propped up on books, then my wheel propped up on books, then my monitor propped up on books, and my pedals hitting my wall and probably scrubbing a bit of the paint off. Don't worry, my renter. I did fix it, so no worries there. Yes, so that's very important for you to know. Why keyboard is still something I do as a person who still races, who has a wheel, has pedals, a monitor, good monitor, but I still use keyboard sometimes. Why? Keyboard not only allows you to be, let's say, wheel allows you to be more erratic but fast, while a keyboard allows you to be more consistent. That's where the consistency is built. For example, when I'm testing setups or comparing one driving style to another, I would definitely choose keyboard because that just allows me to be more consistent with my results. That's one plus of keyboards. Chapter 3, Wheel Racing. Now, keyboards are good. We have established that. But you got €100, maybe 200. Now with the 300 option, you have a lot of possibilities for both wheels and pedals, which is just amazing. I love Monster Tree. I wanna kiss them. Anyway, we all understand that sim racing might take some new parts, let's say. The wheels and the pedals that I bought costed €100. There are no names, I can't find them anywhere online. Maybe one video from 12 years ago explaining how they got a problem that I'm trying to fix, but they didn't fix it because the video is filmed by an Indian guy saying like, "Hello guys, today we're fixing art creative sim racing wheel world champion sim racing wheel setup problem. I don't know how to fix this. Please help." Um, that's just my rant about not finding videos about my topic. Cheap sim racing stuff is available. We have established that. Now for €100 range, you can buy cheap stuff which is plasticky, doesn't feel right, but still a bit more faster. It gives you faster results than keyboard. Let's say if keyboard is on 0 points, which it's not, and then €100 set wheels and base will be on 10 points. Now for €200, not more options. There's a couple more. I would say the 200 is not the golden standard, but it's quite good to start. Now if you have 200 for wheels, both wheels and pedals, for like 200 for those, 200 for that, that's great, but we're not diving deep into that. For 200 you can get some good options, but I would recommend trying to focus more on the feedback, trying not to find ones with spring, because spring is just you rotate back to center and it also over rotates for most of the examples, so wouldn't recommend. It's quite terrible. Now that's like, let's say 25 points, so a bigger jump. But what's on 50 points is €300 for a racing setup. You can buy a motor tree, so much options, so much customizability. If you got another 60, you can add a clutch pedal. It is just amazing what you can buy with €300. It's transcends. It's not 50, 70, 100 points, because it's just such good value per dollar. And yes, 300 is what definitely I would go for. And if you have only 200, 100, don't worry. But if you can save up for a couple of maybe days, months, weeks, you try to do that while you use keyboard to get the basics in, because keyboards are for basics. So that's the game segment. Now my all in all pick for you, I have already picked for you because I love you so much, guys. Assetto Corsa. On cheap discounts, you can get it for €4, €5, €8, which is just mind-boggling for such a good game. Yes, it does have some add-ons, but for the other game that we're gonna talk about, each car costs €1. For this, each bundle on some occasions costs to €1, and from like €2 or €3. So way more value per euro, way more. Also, highly competitive Assetto Corsa with contact library, which allows you to do way more and join sim racing events. We'll talk about that in the next chapter. But it's just amazing. Assetto Corsa is my pick for you. If you really like racing, it's also very realistic. Top 2, 3 most realistic racing games ever. Now, Race Room. Race Room is where I started. I partially regret it since I did use up money on Race Room. How Race Room works, at least right now, or in the past time that I checked on it, it's you join in, you have 4 free tracks. I believe one of them is a World Rally Champion, World Rally track. The one is Sebring International Raceway, then Stowe Circuit, and then not Sebring International Raceway, no, something else, and then the Race Room circuit, which is not a real life circuit. And then every week, I believe you get every Saturday night, you get a new track, a free track for that week only. I guess most of the tracks are good, and there's a good variety of tracks. All tracks cost from 8 to €12, about that range. Now, cars are what I don't understand. Each car by itself can cost up to €6. I'm not gonna say the dreaded number, but about €6 to €7 are the maximum, and then below that is other cheaper cars, and then every skin costs a couple of cents more, maybe €1 more. It is just not good. They do have a lot of public service, which I can respect. It's a bit hard to search there, but there is a lot of them. I would recommend checking out. It's like, if you don't want to spend it right now, if you don't know if sim racing is something that you want to do in the future, if racing is something actually for you, definitely start with Race Room. Chapter 5, Racing. Yeah. Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, there's a certain app called Contest Library, which almost every Assetto Corsa user has. It's an outside app which is free, but you can buy for €5 premium for life, which is just the better option. Now, what it allows you to do is there's a couple of websites, for example, which I'm signed up on, and which I recommend you, but not really. It's kind of hard. World Sim Series Racing, I think, something like that. I have my own team there. Of course, maybe you saw my Instagram. I'm trying to get more people on it. Sorry for the kids screaming outside my windows if you can hear them. But overall, yes, that is the best option I think you have. I tried other ones, maybe not the best. Now, what I definitely would recommend you is to get the licenses, because you can't really race that much if you don't have at least the rookie license. I have the AM license right now, but yes, I would really recommend that, like really. Overall, your budget for basic sim racing will be closer to zero. It can be 300, 200, 100 if you choose a wheel, Assetto Corsa, maybe some mods, and maybe you want to get the licenses. Just know it is lovely. Sim racing is really something a lot of people enjoy and find to enjoy themselves. I would really recommend to go on this journey to push yourself as a racing driver. This has been Eugene, and ciao ragazzi.